July 10th, 1:40 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
Apollo, I can't believe it. It really happened during the second act. And right in the middle of Lamar's performance. The reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch, and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with.
I knew you had what it took. It's gonna be Phoenix, isn't it? Yep.
Ah, Daddy. Mr. Wright. You believed in me?
Not really.
Uh-huh.
I just thought I'd make a cooler entrance and say hiya.
Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latos, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy?
Why would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again.
Oh, you're leaving?
Oh, one thing before I go.
What?
Good luck.
Right. Is that all you came to say?
I think you have things pretty much under control. We'll get Maki Tobaya off of the hook, no doubt.
Yeah, but...
But you're after a detective, aren't you?
Darian Cassand.
Won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system.
The current court system?
What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption. Namely, that our diva divine is telling the truth.
But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch?
Piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of the connection to the case.
Yep. But...
The sultry songstress is lying. Your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly signed scent of failure.
Cinched. Who are you?
Like I said, good luck. Be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Oh no. Don't tell me we're about to Furio Tigre this guy. Don't you tell me we're about to do that. Don't tell me the Curse of Case 3 is going to kick in right at the final hour.
Yep.
I will be so upset if the Curse of Case 3 kicks in. This case has been pretty dang cool. If they ruin it in the end, I'm going to be so upset. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend.
Detective Sky? Emma?
Let's see. The snackoos are relevant? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Oh, that was meant for you. The heck is that?
Parts from an electrical case. That burned in the guitar, probably. What are those, Daddy? They don't look very good snacking material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of finding revealed traces of gunpowder. Oh, is it the firecrackers? We don't have it yet.
Gunpowder?
My firework expert called it firecrackers. Probably a firecracker is something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These firecrackers were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. What'd I tell ya? Firecrackers under the couch with that igniter.
How do we know it's not forged?
It came from Emma. But
True.
he's the one handing it to us. But he pulled out a snackadoo. So, maybe. I feel like Phoenix might be playing us here. Phoenix is giving us false evidence, isn't he?
Under the sofa. Hey, Apollo. That's where we found that little device thingy. Right, this. Oh, finally, some evidence that makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely a firecracker. It's actually two firecrackers. So you got this one that split apart, and then this one that just blew out the side.
So, you think this was some kind of firecracker? Yeah, one of those noisemakers like you shoot them off on New Year's. You know that in China they use firecrackers on New Year's Eve to scare off evil? So it's kind of the same thing. Really, I had no idea. Well, did you know this? It takes more than 500 peanuts to make one 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. At least my useless fact had something to do with the evidence.
So yes, we got at least two firecrackers, which we had two bangs. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe.
Right.
Every man has an igniter inside him.
Excuse me?
Find Darwin Crescent's igniter and set it off. That's not going to be very hard. His fuse is very short.
And he walked out the door just like a magician, normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods. What does that mean? I guess we have to take a device and hope it makes sense when the time comes.
This firecracker is definitely fake.
I guess. We'll almost finish the line. Hang in there, Trucy. July 10th, 1:55 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent?
In the witness lounge, ready to be called out at any time.
Very well.
Might I add, I don't believe any of this. He, Dion, was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination.
That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct?
Oh, I know, Air Forehead. Then why did you mention it? Nobody asked about how you two met.
Very well, call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent.
Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescent, Criminal Affairs Detective of Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's International Affairs Division, for those who don't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gavineers. Maybe you've heard of us. Notice he said international.
Do you fully understand the circumstances in which you stand before us today?
Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. Man, you just don't understand how Air Forehead works. He just spouts out nonsense and I'm just like, you know, let's roll with it. Give me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. Heh, so much for old friends.
I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial. Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamar's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it.
Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Where has Apollo lied?
Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing.
So my guess, real quick, I'm gonna toss this out there. If we have to perceive him at some point, my guess it's gonna be his shoulder that twitches.
Oh yeah, because
he's gonna recall like the moment that shot was fired, and his shoulder is gonna twitch like out of pain. Either that, or he's gonna hold his shoulder at some point.
Probably twitching, I imagine.
Jiva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard a gunshot? As if. Think Detective Emma Sky hears those gunshots during the third set anyway? Shooting took place when I was on stage, man. I think we're immediately tossing a firecracker at him.
Yeah, so you claim Lamar's testimony was a lie?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing, trying to protect the kid. And she's got the court eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind. You going too far, Brian? Look, all I'm saying is, you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective?
Detective Sky. I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. You didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamar's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove the shooting, when the shooting took place. Hold it.
What?
I would just press all of them. You don't have any proof she was lying.
Oh yeah, kid? You say I'm lied?
No, I'm just saying, Apollo, glare back at him. Couldn't help it, I flinched by reflex. Detective Crescent.
Yeah? What do you want?
Nothing. Apollo, chin up, back up straight. You're wilting. This guy's hard as nails. He makes Walkie look downright cooperative. Hey, Isaac.
Look, there's no way that Diva remembers my voice. In the first place, she never heard my voice.
You never talked to her, even though you were playing the same concert?
Not a word, as far as I can recall. That's probably true. He probably never directly talked to her.
But weren't there planning sessions or something?
Gavin took care of all that himself. Diane wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. So he wouldn't have had a way to know the lyrics ahead of time, really. As if you can go around just remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that.
Lamar's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him. I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it.
Oh yeah? There was a mistake. But blaming on gunshots is a lame excuse.
What do you mean?
The mixing board proves what? It proves there was a mistake in the song? A missed cue? Yeah, you know a lot about miscues, don't you, Brian? So she flubbed it up big time, that's all. She spins a story about a gunshot to protect her kid and cover up her own goof. Man, I had to hand it to her. She wasn't sticking it to me at the same time. Daria, watch what you say. Lemoire is an artist. She just flubbed it up. It's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber. She got to you, all right. I can see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious, it's way over my head.
I'm detecting a rift in Gavinier's ranks.
Anyway, she was close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You with me? I'll go to Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick. Now, still gonna press this, but I think we're gonna end up presenting the firecrackers here.
Let's just do it.
Because I'm still on a press. I still want to hear what he says.
Okay.
Cause this is one of those points like it gets to where like the stuff they say is very interesting. Like I feel like the firecrackers on here is going to be what helps her because Emma's the one that found them.
Actually, I was there too.
So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots.
Yes. We heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you.
Huh? I guess you and Lemoire got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from the room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. Maki heard... Oh.
Machi heard them too. Remember he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them? So how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think.
I tell you what the shooter, that kid wants you to think. He wants you to think that diva heard me in that room.
I'm back to relying on Lamar's testimony.
As much as I'm enjoying the Darian and Forehead show, there's no need for such tempers.
Don't make us into some comedy duo.
This means Gavin and Drain shows canceled. Neither of your claims can be proven or disproved. We could argue that for days like this and get nowhere.
Prosecutor Gavin is quite right. This court will hear no further discussion on this topic without new facts. New facts, huh? Pretty eager to paint Lamar as a liar, isn't he? Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case. This is tough, so what do we do? I got a few ideas. I just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did.
So I think it's this one.
There you are. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this, a small device.
That's the remote trigger, Rider.
Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope.
Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We report on that it was something like a firecracker.
How did Gavin know about this?
Did Phoenix talk to him too, or did Emma mention it? What? You think this guy works for you? I received a report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually.
Ah, shit. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. Well, back.
I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. Just in case.
This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been 2 firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. But what if he says those 2 gunshots were done during the second set as a mislead?
But he wouldn't have known that. He wouldn't have known about her trick, though, so he wouldn't have known anybody would have been over there. You got an active imagination, don't you? You shouldn't say every little thing that you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me.
How so?
So you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Robbing the 2 witnesses came walking by? Ha! I don't think it was planned for us to be there. He probably didn't know we were going to be there.
That's right. Darn, was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then?
Firecracker goes off into force. There's no one to hear. You get my drift? Way to go through such trouble, man.
How do I explain this?
You made out look it, but Dion is a gifted detective.
He used the earpiece, left it on, and then waited for noise.
He heard us talking on that earpiece. And maybe the time he was hitting the trigger was the same time he messed up his cue because his hand wasn't on the guitar at that brief moment.
That could be it.
He made out look at partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I've been to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. I saw something out there just before the third set.
Something odd.
A headset. The kind the band and staff were all wearing.
That's right. We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room.
What if the headset wasn't dropped, but placed?
Clavier, what are you doing?
And what if it turned on? See, this is what I'm saying. He knows the truth, and he's helping us. There's no shot he hasn't figured this out, and he's just helping us along the way now. But he's still, like, making sure we prove it. He's like, I'll give you a little hand, man, but you still gotta prove it yourself.
You could hear what was going on in the hallway. Even if you were out on stage.
Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Ryan. There are no sides in this court of law. Technically, yes, there are. You're supposed to be proving my client guilty, and you're kind of helping his case. Which is why I now turn to you, Air Forehead. I have a question for you.
Huh, for me?
The igniter and the burnt fragments were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of a gunshot. So the headset in the hallway into the mix, and you can fabricate you an alibi. We're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say.
You can't place one at the scene at a time.
Yep. You've raised the possibility that the shots were heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case.
The other half?
Look, I just tell him. He wants you to prove that things went down in the second half. Well, our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless.
Well, Mr. Justice? Can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven.
You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you.
Let's continue with the cross-examination, shall we? Witness your testimony, if you would. It ain't gonna be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast.
You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. Okay, what proves it was in the second set?
As we were out in the front at the time, we were watching this live during the second set.
Yeah, we were in the crowd during the second set, so we weren't there.
But the gunshots heard during the third set could have been.
What, some kind of setup? I've heard that one before.
We need proof, Apollo. We need to prove that the shooting took place during the second set. Well, if you know how to do that, I'm all ears. Maybe the gunshots are the key after all. What do you mean? Well, Lamar said she heard him, right? Right in the middle of her illusion when she was up above the ceiling. The mix box! When she forgot the words of the song, yeah? Her mic was above it. If you can prove the gun was shot right when she missed those lyrics. Or home free, I think. Can you go to the mix box and, like, hear that section?
Yeah.
Because her mic would pick it up, right? Isolate her vocals. No, it has to be one, everything else off.
So it goes at the second segment.
That's only one shot, but that's a shot. I'm a genius!
I didn't think to look in there.
Everyone, your lord!
That would have taken me so long to find if I did this solo. I was not thinking that. Screw this. Screw all this extra
I
dialogue.
have a moral victory to myself.
Take that.
It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lamar's song.
Her song?
What exactly is this device thingy? A new variety of gramophone perhaps? I love this guy. Come on, we just used this, and don't get me started on the gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part?
Move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamar's voice included.
Oh, but what does this prove? According to Lamar's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song.
Ah, you must intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots.
Exactly.
Ridiculous. How are we supposed to hear gunshots back in the dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Daria? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance. But Lamar's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same.
And let's get to analyzing the recording. Right now. Lamora stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots.
Yeah, it's literally right there.
You want to listen closer to this part. This is the track with Lemire's vocals. I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot.
See, I'm annoyed because, like, just hit. That's the exact times frame. Why do I have to hit play and then hit present? That doesn't make any sense.
Shouldn't there be a second gunshot?
What? No,
Shouldn't there be 2 gunshots?
Yeah, there was only one. That's a problem. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. What the heck is that sprite?
Best one.
That is so weird looking. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means that Lamar's testimony was true. Ugh.
So she was telling the truth about what she heard. Just after that, there was a gunshot and then the guitar caught fire.
Detective Chris said you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
Why did we only hear 1 gunshot in the recording? There we go. Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamora was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for their mic to catch the first shot.
Maybe.
Vents have a lot of echolocation, though, so she should have picked it up. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, fired again, and Mr. Lato's life was taken.
So yeah, maybe the first shot was just a little bit prior. What if the first shot taken was the victim firing at Drayan? Or Drayan.
That's
and then
feasible,
Drayan took the
because
gun and then fired back and killed.
He has to get the gun once. Like, there has to be some sort of struggle. Well, Detective Crescent?
Because that would explain why the scene is a little bit of a mess, too. There was some stuff knocked over. Ah, once again I'm reminded of something. A performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You was there too, Air Forehead. What is it was today? I thought it strange at the time. How could you make such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well,
You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latus's 45 caliber handgun. And we have learned that even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder if you're an amateur.
Wait. You mean his plan was effective because he hurt himself shooting that revolver?
Ha! You're forgetting something.
Yes, Detective Crescent.
I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've firearms training. Plenty of it. I'm no amateur. This gun's different, dude. Stand aside. Sidearm issue to the police officers is a 38 caliber weapon. Much tamer beast also the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latus, which suggests that there was a struggle between the killer and the victim.
So the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent.
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney.
Me?
Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on the tape. That could be anything. You have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback? I wait for this case, Gavin. I really do. Gavin's like, really now? You really want to go there, buddy? You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
All right,
This feels like it. This feels like it.
Come on, why'd I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, I wouldn't want to kill him. Why would I want to kill him, huh? Do we have...
A simple reason indeed. The egg.
Yeah.
Egg.
It's definitely going to be the egg.
Simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latus has not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes. Not even once.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great, now I need to find a motive.
Do we want to just jump right to it, or do we actually want to press?
Jump right to it. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this?
Looks like a piece of candy.
What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it.
He's not looking at us. He's like, nope, I don't see it. Nope, nothing going on here.
Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color.
It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. nowhere else.
Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouche. Does it? It does, wait. I mean, I think it does.
You don't sound confident, man.
A cocoon? Isn't it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of? Not this one. The cocoon is made a powerful... makes a powerful curative. A curative for what?
Apparently, it's the most infectious at treating a disease called incurable.
Efficacious.
It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it's illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Bodidia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Money!
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
We looked into the matter at some length.
Drugs?
Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture as a remedy from the cocoon. If you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. Cure air. Probably cure air poison. A deadly poison, in fact. Ah, so if you don't know what you're doing, you're actually creating a poison instead.
What?
There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out into the black market. Caused quite a commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was linked 7 years ago.
Oh boy.
Intriguing.
All this has led to a strict ban on cocoons export. Only originally enforced by Interpol, among us.
Interpol? Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent.
So he's trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that we could well be a motive for murder.
So I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about the smuggling of cocoons business.
Here we go. We're going again. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal. I just had a thought.
Yeah. Yep.
What if, like, we're pretty sure Machi is the one that was being investigated. What if he brought it for this person? Like, he's somehow related to the Chief Justice.
I didn't have the relation there, but I did peg this as being the reason.
Like, maybe this. Like,
I think you remember me saying, I hope they don't make him act as the good guy.
What if
at the end of
what
this.
if Machi's not even Virginian? He's actually Japanese. He's actually from the country.
You never know.
Just a thought I'm tossing out there real quick.
Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover.
You kids think up the craziest things. But in a way, I'm gonna risk my laughing limb. I love how he calls us kids, and I'm pretty sure he's the same age as us. Yeah, he's 2 years older. Like, if and Trucy called us an old man. That's a 7-year difference. Like, what the heck? Just get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted.
According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I got. He was up to something, and I'm going to find out what. That's fine.
Let me see.
That's fine, too. Dangerous.
Yeah, Interpol finds you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed.
But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices?
Yeah, and attention. For Gangster and his brother would want a piece of that action. Turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get them to cut his hair too.
Who's on trial here again?
Man, it's so obvious and know nothing about the market.
And that's a bad thing?
Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff.
Which is why you'd know how to find a loophole in the system.
Hey, you can say what you want about me. Back off the international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? Who do you think we are, Boy Scouts?
That wasn't what I was trying to...
Down, Dryan. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International Affairs, Interpol, Virginian Customs are all watching.
See, we know what we're doing.
See, we know what we are doing. It's not like they give them little doggies that lap up every woods that diva says.
Why I oughta.
Otto, what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, ja.
Screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick.
Well, his hair's already sticking out on a pompadour. I think there's probably a stick in there holding it up.
The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's got to be a way to find out what he was up to.
We'll just press the rest of them.
That memo, that's how you knew about the cocoons.
Oh, nice. Nice one. Nice one. I'm running around scared now.
You have to know about the cocoons to plan this. Just how well known are these cocoons? I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I've never heard of them. Well, Lamar knew about them, though they're not their use.
My reports indicate that there are ongoing efforts to control the information about these cocoons. Most people only know they're an illegal to export. That's all.
And I've nothing to be embarrassed about after all.
You can say people like me who know about them are a minority, yeah. That includes everyone in international affairs, man. And everyone in Interpol, too. For that matter, yeah.
So there are other Interpol agents like Mr. Latouche.
All over the world. Likely deep undercover, most of them. That's why these cocoons are too hot for the black market. You want Interpol sniffing around your wares. Wolves came to that conclusion.
Go to the second statement and put the newspaper against it.
What would the newspaper mention about this?
I actually do. I actually do agree, but I think it's for the other reason, right? Because it's got to be that the reasoning behind it is to prove the motive, right? The reason is he wants to give the medicine to the sick kid, right?
Maybe.
What was the first statement again? Yeah, it can't be that one.
They got hot. They got.
I don't think it's
bothered
Interpol. I think it's just the Chief Justice. What if the Chief Justice sent him to get it?
Or it could be this one. It's like it's not to sell it. It's for the hospital. It could be this one.
One of those two.
I feel more confident on this one.
Do it. There you go. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would.
How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. Second they found out I was a cop, they could kiss my keys to goodbye.
Why sell it to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? This article, that's about Chief Justices. A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon. But so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit the victim of the disease this morning. Aha! Why, that's a disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying. Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in a contraband. Not even to save his own son's life?
Good point.
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. That Detective Crescent's insurance. If the word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true?
First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway?
Just take the letters to think about it. If the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller.
Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof?
Well,
Summon the Chief Justice. I
I bet you the cocoon is in his hair.
That would be funny.
The cocoon is on him.
Oh yeah, you're forgetting one other important thing.
Do tell.
Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginia Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out.
So we're informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.